I think it will because, well, so far I've worked a lot in, we call it in German, we call it Öffentlichkeitsarbeit. I guess it's kind of like a mix between marketing and, well, relations to the outside. I don't know how you call it in English, but it's about, producing texts for websites, producing texts for the social media channels, but also for inside of a company, to keep everyone updated on what's happening and so on. And I think I've done that a lot, and I like it. I find it hard, but I like it. So I see myself still writing, and maybe I'm not quite sure actually which career I will follow, because my my mindset was always to try to find different things, try different things in my life, and that's still my mindset. So I want to maybe try to work in a company in maybe the international department, and I might maybe also try to work in the university, or I've already also worked in the university. So I'm not quite sure yet, but I definitely see in all of these fields, I see a lot of writing. In university, of course, and I actually think I'm better at scientific writing than at creative writing, so maybe this scientific writing, definitely, yes. Oh.
I have one.
Yeah?
You can ask first. Yeah. I want to ask your opinion about personal statements. Sometimes I see these statements that look more like an inspirational blog post.
Yeah.
And what do you think? What is better, this inspirational paper, or is something more formal and less emotional?
So the thing is that in Germany we always write, we call it motivation letter, I think, and it's always quite formal. So that's what I'm used to. I guess it's the standard, and it's very rarely somebody asks to write something more creative. But I don't know, it's hard to tell. I think it's harder to write something creative that is still at the same time appropriate to, applying for something. So, I don't know. Did this answer your question? Not really, right?
I think in German we call it something that sounds like justification,
Begründung, yeah, or Bewerbungsschreiben, yeah, it's quite formal.
Yeah. And it kind of sounds just justifying, like why you're
applying.
So as opposed to motivation, which is similar, but it probably has a different angle on it.
That's true. Yes, that's very true. Yeah.
Okay, so my question would be: you've completed your bachelor degree, and you've done a lot of work. And what would be your advice to the current bachelor students in terms of writing? So what should they focus on? What should they try to learn? And how if these skills will be useful for them later on in life?
In the job market,
in the job market or
okay.
After they graduate.
Okay. I would advise students to maybe also, if they have time apart from studying, to kind of get skills in computer programs, because I think writing you train a lot in university anyway. You write a lot of reports, but I think the programs you use, well, I only used Word during my studies, I think, and maybe PowerPoint, of course, but there's so many other very helpful tools and so many good things. And I think in companies you can often surprise people if you say, I know how to design a flyer, I can do it because I know the program. So more like tools, additional tools, I think that can be very helpful. Well, I think after the bachelor you have an idea of how it works, so you're kind of prepared, and then at the master's it's of course more difficult or a different level. But I think you kind of enjoy it more because you know the basics and you can work with them. You kind of have a little bit of an idea, and it makes it more fun, I think. And also in my master's, we had a lot of project work. So often we worked in pairs of 2 or 3 together on one project. And that was another challenge, I think, because you realize that you have your own style of writing and you don't want others to interfere. And I don't know, but you kind of have to deal with it, and so that was a new challenge for me when I started my master's. And I guess, yeah, I guess it makes more fun in masters. Yeah, you're better at it. Yeah. I think, well, from what I've learned, personal opinion should not appear anywhere before the conclusion. So that's maybe the German rules. I don't know, but I would never state a personal opinion in the introduction, but I would kind of try to find, an introduction to the whole topic. So I would kind of try to put my research question into a bigger context. I would try to explain why I chose this topic, why it's relevant, and why I'm asking this question now, why I'm trying to find out more about it. So I try to justify what I will do later. And I also try to give a short outlook on what I want to do. So only briefly I mention I will focus on this aspect and this aspect, only very briefly, but that's kind of what I use the introduction for. It kind of depends on what you're writing about, what your study field is. I think I've known like brilliant math students who didn't know much about politics or world issues, but they knew their subject. So like they didn't know they didn't need anything else. But I think if you write in humanities and if you write, for example, in geography, there's a lot of things that I need to consider and know. And yeah, definitely. And I think it always helps you to know things happening around you. It's always beneficial. So yeah. Yeah, so I know quite a few people who write diaries, including me. Like I've been writing diaries since I'm a small child, and I think it helps me to sort my ideas and my life. But other than that, I know people writing blogs as well. Especially travel blogs are very popular right now, I think. And I also know people who, write poems for themselves or for friends. So yeah, there's definitely people doing that. Yeah. Okay, so I think starting research is quite easy. Go on the internet and look on, first you can look on very, basic platforms like Wikipedia, I guess you might know it, or different sources. You just look around, you're not in, under stress normally yet. You can still try to find your topic. And then when I have kind of an idea what I want to write about, then I look for scientific sources. So then I look for research papers online, I look for books in the library. And normally going to the library and getting books is a big inspiration for me. I don't know why, but normally the books related to one topic in Germany are sorted in the same places. So like when I get one book out, I see different other books that are related to it. So I get inspired by that and I read. And I think this is a good way. Just start and don't put pressure on you at the beginning. Just read for interest, and then like you will find good content and you will find good material. And then for me, it's always very hard to start writing. That's maybe for me the hardest. But what I was talking about, that I do excerpts when I read a text, I always take notes. They help me a lot with also starting later, because when I do these excerpts, I already also sometimes notify my own thoughts, and I put some aspects that I think are relevant. I highlight them, so when I go through them again, I see, oh, okay, this was important, and then it helps me, I think, to start writing. And maybe sometimes I just start with the introduction. I just try to formulate what I want to do. So then when I try to formulate it, I realize, okay, this is not going to work, or this is going to work. And so that's why I start with the introduction, and then then it just goes on and on. I don't know.